I've got a present for you.
If we want to live in
Real tough guy.
Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative.
There is a very unstable situation on the ground that is unfolding very quickly.
Repairing. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir.
Building. Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Awaiting
Building.
orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building. Unit ready.
Comrade, affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative.
Training.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Training.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
There
Reporting.
is a very unstable situation on the ground that is unfolding very quickly.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Training. Building.
Acknowledged.
Unit
Reporting.
ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting
Naval
order.
Air
Present for
Affirmative.
you.
Insufficient funds.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Comrade. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Our base is under attack. Insufficient funds. Preparing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Waiting affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting order.
Our base is under attack. Preparing.
Comrade? Affirmative. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Insufficient
Acknowledged.
funds.
I've got a present for you.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost. Our base is under attack. Unit ready. Building.
Awaiting orders.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Reporting. Yes, sir.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready. Building.
Affirmative. Comrade?
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Our base is under attack. Unit ready. Building.
Comrade? Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Preparing.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit ready. Building.
Acknowledged.
Repairing.
Waiting order. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Our base
Affirmative.
is under attack. Unit lost. Repairing. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Our base is under
Waiting.
attack.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Our base is under attack.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes,
Unit
Vehicle
lost.
reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Our base is under attack.
Acknowledged. Of course. Reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Awaiting orders.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Repairing. Repairing.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Vehicle acknowledged. Report acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting order.
Engineering. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative.
New construction options.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Base is under attack.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative.
Lost.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Repairing.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options.
Yes, sir.
Our base is under
Acknowledged.
attack.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Vehicle acknowledged. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Building. Building.
Vehicle reporting.
Insufficient
Acknowledged.
funds.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Structure
Yes, sir.
sold.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready. Building. Construction
Affirmative.
complete. Primary building selected. Unit ready. Building. Building. Unit ready. Building. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Insufficient funds.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction
Affirmative.
complete. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Vehicle report. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Awaiting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
lost. Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building. Insufficient
Affirmative.
funds.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Vehicle
Unit
report.
ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Vehicle report. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Awaiting or acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Ready and waiting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
lost.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Lost. Insufficient
Affirmative.
funds.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Vehicle reporting.
Unit ready. Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle reportive.
Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Report. Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. 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 Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Reporting. Acknowledged. 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 Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Silos needed. Silos needed.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos
Acknowledged.
needed.
Acknowledged.
Objective met.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Silos
Acknowledged.
needed.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit
Yes,
ready.
sir. Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative. Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Mission accomplished.